Coming. So welcome to my place. Today I'm going to show you a little bit where the creative process is happening for me. It's actually here on the toilet. I'm sitting there. Hey, what were you thinking? It's not there. It's here in my little studio room. But before we go there, I just need to show you some other essentials. You're right, they are slippers, but without them there wouldn't be any creative process, okay? So let's put these ones on directly. Because when I have them on, I feel warm and cozy, and I'm ready to make music. Okay, so with my slippers on, heading into uncharted territory. Whoa! So here is where I sit and work and fart and whatnot. Hey, farting is work! Yeah, I don't know if you can see anything. Let's just turn around a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so you probably saw me gravitate towards this corner when filming the room, and that's because here are where my babies are hanging and standing. It's the little guitar corner. And there are no super high-end guitars here. In Sweden, it's a bit hard to get a hold of them and try them. You know, like I'd love to try a Sur guitar or Tom Anderson or Flaxwood or whatnot. So what I've done instead is I went for the safeguards and I modified them. So for instance, this strat is the one I've modified most. It's an American Deluxe strat. It's 50th anniversary guitar, swamp bass body, maple neck obviously. And it's a lovely guitar. You can find them in the stores here. So what I've done is I've scalloped it. I've had it scalloped. And then I've done a PLEK'd to it, PLEK'd, however you pronounce it. It's a method to get really low string action. Yeah, I've done some smaller adjustments like graphite nut, and I actually switched all the stock pickups, but then I went back to stock pickups again because I really like the SCN stock pickup. So this is a lovely guitar. It has that snappy sound you get from typical swamp ash maple, and the squealing harmonics, and the neck is great playability. It's cool. I mean, I guess the sustain could be a bit better, but it's not that type of guitar. And also the whammy bar is, I mean, I've had several different luthiers look at it, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not really precise enough, because if you go wild with a bar, tuning drifts a little bit, and you can compensate for it by doing vibrato and that stuff, but I prefer it if it didn't drift as much. So I usually don't use it with a whammy, but I do have it set up floating, so I can play a chord and do something like that with my hand. So that's a little bit of versatility there. Of course, it has the S1 switch, which is killer. It's really good because it allows me to run the different single chords in parallel series, whatever. But it gives me a more fatter sound, a little bit like a more humbucker sound. And the reason it's so good is because a lot of the patches or profiles on my Kemper amplifier, I've done them for humbucker guitar. And so with single chords, sometimes it sounds a little bit thin, and I have to redo the profile or switch to another profile. But with this guitar, I can just turn on the S1 switch, and I have sort of humbucker sound. I mean, most of the time it does work. So it's really nice, I think. And plus, the implementation with the push button there is so good. If you can see that, push. So they're very discreet. So I like these kind of mods. I might do them on other guitars as well. I'd love to have like a treble bleed switch as well. I think that would be useful for me. So sometime ahead I'm going to fix that try that on one of these guitars. So that's for the Strat, I use it for rock, metal, blues, whatever. It works for most things. So then we have this guitar as well, which is a newer edition. It's an LTD guitar, so it's you know, a fairly cheap guitar, and I had it PLEK'd as well. So string action is great, really low, and I think it's I guess it stands a little bit comparison with higher end ESP guitars. Although I suspect, you know, sustain and tone and, you know, the way the notes sing might not be up to par, but I use it for metal and, or mostly, my plan is to use it for metal stuff. You know, since it's a fixed bridge, I can, you know, try different tunings. Just tuning down to drop D is a hassle on a floating bridge, but on this guitar it's super easy. And I want to try thicker strings as well, because I think there's a lot of room for experiment there. So that's what I intend to use this one for, mostly. But it's I like it. It just, every time I see it, it makes me want to play it. And it has a set through neck, body kind of thing, so it's high fret access is pretty good. So yeah, I love the guitar. I love that, whatever it's called, quilted or top. Yeah, and then this also fairly new edition. It's a Les Paul Junior guitar, and it has all the features of a, you know, standard Les Paul guitar with or the important features like big mahogany body, you get my point, and then a maple top. So you get a big, fat, or incredible tone. I mean, the tone is fantastic. Sustain is just mind-blowing, especially considering the price. It's the cheapest Les Paul kind of guitar I think you'll find out there. So I use this one for, well, for a lot of different stuff. But I won't use it as much for like more technical stuff because I came to realize that it's hard to play this guitar. So I've done some recordings with it that are more technical. You can find them on my channel, but I think they were harder than they needed to be because I tried to play them on this guitar. And the reason is because this is a very thick kind of vintage neck. I don't remember what it's called, 59 or something like 59 neck, but I think it's their thickest neck profile. But I think it's good because these guitars have like different, I use them for different purposes, and this one it's obvious that it's a kind of sustainy, melodic kind of guitar, you know, for solo uses, and lots of different rhythm applications because the sound is very warm, thick and big. I really like it. You can see one of my recent videos, I use it for a kind of reggae blues kind of thing, and I think the tone is great coming from this guitar. Though it is since it's a fairly cheap guitar, I could do some modifications with it without feeling too bad myself. For instance, the string action is actually impressively good up to here, and then it just does like a fall or something, I don't know what it's called. So up here it gets harder to play. And for this price range, I think they did an excellent job. But maybe I could, you know, bring it to luthier and PLEK'd or do something so that string action is consistent throughout the entire neck to allow solo playing. And then I don't know if it's possible to remove a little bit of the joint here, so I could have better high fret access. But I'm assuming it's not because they've been building the guitars for a long time like this. I don't know. And then I could do the cutaway here, not to hurt my ribs as much. And locking tuners, I love that. But the pickups I think are amazing. Burst Bucker Pro, very, very nice. I prefer them. They're much warmer, I think, than the standard 40, well, what's it called, 500T, 498T, I don't know. I've had guitars with those, but I prefer these ones. Though, of course, it's not possible to do coil splitting with these because they don't have enough conductors or whatever the word is. So this is a humbucker guitar, but yeah, lots of cool stuff possible and lots of possibilities. Just, you know, with a standard, you know, pickup configuration with 2 tone controls, it's kind of versatile. Although it takes a while to understand it, or at least for me, what to do with this stuff. But now that I've played with it for a year, I start seeing what I can do with it. Yeah. So this is a pretty cool guitar. It's tricky to play, but it sounds amazing. And it's definitely the guitar with most sustain I have here in this collection. Oh yeah, so we have my beloved Parker guitar. The playability and neck is just amazing. You know, it's just so special and good and cool. And I've come to realize recently, thanks to the Kemper amplifier, that the sound is also amazing. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the sound. I thought there was something wrong with the sound for a long time, so it's been collecting dust there for a little while. But I always keep returning to it, and now I'm getting fantastic tones from it. So it's an amazing instrument. This is the first version of the Parker Nitefly guitar. I think that it's fairly easy to find them on eBay, and they're not that pricey. I can really recommend this instrument. I've had it for over 10 years. I've abused it, and I've never brought it to luthier. I mean, string action is fantastic. So I guess it's a graphite neck thing that does it, and flat radius. It's just, and it's stainless steel frets. It's amazing. You know, the bending, so easy. Luthiers hate it because they can't do their thing with it, but for us players, it's really good. And I have changed the stock pickup, and I sold it. I really regret doing that. The humbucker here, and I replaced it with a GB pickup, which was not right for this guitar. I have it in the LTD guitar. It's a great pickup, but for this guitar, no. Maple and GB is just too bright, too harsh. Blah, blah. But then now there's a P-rail in there, Seymour Duncan P-rail, and it works great. I love it. With the options, I can switch to P90 mode, or humbucker mode, or parallel mode, or even single coil mode, and get that in-between strat sound. It's really good. So I'm happy with this one. I think I'm going to have a lot of use for it. So it's yeah, and maybe a few words about this one. You've seen me play it recently. It looks like a joke, like a toy, but it's not. It's a fantastic MIDI instrument, and I love it as well. You can't bend with it though. You have to use the arm, which is a bit special, but it sort of forces you into new territory, so I'm really happy with this one. I got it very cheap on sale. I think I paid 60 bucks for it. It's a Generation 1. I don't know, maybe it was just prior to the Generation 2 switch, and they sold them out. But I'm quite sure you can find them on eBay for a good price, and for this price it's, you know, Alan Holsworth, I remember reading back in the days, he had to sell a house to afford his syntax to be able to do this kind of stuff. And now you can get them for very cheap, and control, it triggers very well, especially if you have control of your hammer-ons. So, and you can do hammer-ons from nowhere, then it's really a cool solo instrument. So yeah, this is I guess I like the versatility of this collection of guitars. I think with a few more additions it's going to be perfect. I like a Telecaster guitar, and I really like an Ibanez RG guitar, because I want to get more into the shredding stuff again, and all this crazy whammy bar stuff. So hopefully I'm going to get expand my collection. And yeah, the bass guitar is a Mexican jazz bass. I don't know much about bass guitars, but it's okay for me. The acoustic guitar is a First something guitar. It's a lovely guitar. Sounds great. But I haven't played it for a while, and it needs adjustments from luthier. But it's cool because it has my blood on it. Yeah, my blood. I don't know if you can see my blood there. Yeah, there you can see my blood. So it's from my bachelor's party. My friends forced me to go out on the street and play, and they didn't bring a pick, and I was supposed to play loud, so I played. Blood just kept coming, but it's a very nice memory, so whenever I do bring it to luthier, I'm gonna ask them to be careful not to remove my blood, because I don't want to waste new blood on there. Whoops, so that's just a short summary. If you got more questions, just let me know and I can answer them directly, or just maybe post another video where I go into depth how I use the guitars or whatnot. Yeah, I guess the essential stuff is here. What matters, I think, for you know, doing music is what's in there and how you deal with that thing, okay? So if you want to improve your musical work, you know, exercise your brain and get better at dealing with software, because that's what matters. And most of it is software based here. Even my amp sounds now are coming completely from software with the Kemper amplifier, and it's changed a lot of things for me and my workflow, and most importantly, it's changed my understanding for guitar sounds, because I hated tweaking guitar sounds. It's just I didn't see it as a part of the creative process. It was just something necessary evil. But with the Kemper, it's fun. It's really fun, and whatever tweaks you do, you can store them and they're there. You know, if I ever accidentally happen to get a good sound from my tube amp, it'd be gone the next day, guaranteed. You know, and it's just a hassle. So Kemper, love it, and it's I've had it for almost a year, yeah, and it's I keep discovering new stuff with it. It's really, really, really good. It's amazing. So that's probably the coolest equipment I have here, I think, along with my computer. As you can see, I use Mac, and it was a painful switch from PC, and I knew Cubase kind of well, or I knew it well for my needs. And I had a Mac with Cubase a while back, and then I went to PC and kept using Cubase, and then the switch to Logic, wow, not easy. But I think I understand it somewhat now, and I'm able to use it, and there are lots of stuff in Logic that really helps my workflow, especially all the the bundle stuff within Logic. I love that, and I try to stick with that, because I figured if I don't get a lot of external plugins and things like that, it's going to be easy for me to send my entire project to someone else out there in the world for collaborations. So I try to stick with Logic, although someday I might, I guess, be tempted to get some of those new Steven Slate plugins or whatever. No, but the only paid plugin which I use is Steven Slate drums, and all other is just what's included in Logic. And the drummer is so good in Logic, I could probably do without Steven Slate now. And anyway, I have some learning to do there, because my drum sounds are not really as cool as I like them to be, but yeah, there's work for me to do there. So what more to say? Yeah. I guess it's pretty standard. I don't have lots of stuff. I like space. I don't like lots of stuff. I like to have space and like to have room for thinking, and that's how I get my inspiration. So I try to somewhat keep it clean here, although it's never as clean as you've seen today. Obviously, it's up and down. And that's why I don't record my videos here. I'm going to show you where I record them, because when everything is up and down here, I can still record video, because I use another wall, so people would see how messy everything is in the room. Yeah, I guess you're going to have to ask me if you have questions about stuff here. Maybe you're wondering what this is. These are lovely drawings from my 5-year-old daughter. And I just can't get myself to throw them away, so I collect them in piles. But they're good, they bring me joy. There you can see some, what do you call them, necklace, whatever, thing you have around your neck. She made them for me, fantastic. And they have pasta on them, so if I ever get hungry, I know what to eat. Yeah. Okay, so here's where I recorded some videos recently. It's a bit of a work in progress, but I've attached this thing. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, this wire going in the ceiling, or just below the ceiling, and I can put different sheets on it and get different colors. But I only have one color, yeah, black, and then I can remove it and I get white. But it's okay for now. I'm gonna try some new colors at some point. Maybe try a green screen and see how that works. It looks okay now, doesn't it? Yeah. So yeah. And like I said, the good thing is I can have a messy room, and if I want to be fairly spontaneous, I can get things up pretty fast here and record something. Although I'm still learning as far as light sources goes and things like that, so it takes me some time to put to even though I try to have everything set up, it always takes me a bit of time to get the camera up and the lights up. But it's definitely faster than if I, you know, first felt the need to clean up the desk and the floor and remove the cables and, you know, sit in front of my computer and record. So I think this is nice. I'm going to experiment more with it. Okay, so what's that? Okay, yeah. So you know what that's for. I also have this. Same thing, same idea. It's, you know, that kind of exercise thing. Yeah, I need that. I almost do it on a daily basis whenever I'm practicing and playing because it's good for my blood circulation and preventing injury. And I have these. These are my fake titties. You might have seen them in some video. Work great. Not that big, but size doesn't matter. Okay, so this thing, that is a mobile anti-sound reflection thing. It's not nearly as cool as it sounds though, it's just some homemade thing, but it does have a slight effect, you know, depending on what I want to record in the room. If I want to, you know, record some spoken stuff or some singing, and I can move it around to get less reflections. I guess ideally I would have it all over the walls, but I don't yet. And here's a curtain, same principle. It's a little too small though, but it works for now. And it also helps dampen the room reverberations a little bit. I didn't really discuss everything there is to know about the stuff I use. If you got more questions, I mean, or do let me know what you would want me to dive into, so then I could just do a video devoted to that. I try to know a little bit about everything, so I don't know a lot about one specific thing. You know, I try to learn and understand just enough for my needs, and I find that the more versatility I have, the better the end product. So getting really good at the guitar sound has not been my priority, because even if you have a fantastic guitar sound, if the rest of the things doesn't sound good in your song, it's not going to matter that you really knew how to get a good guitar sound. So I try to up my ability in all the different components I use to, you know, make music. So that's, you know, what I could help you with. I could give you some, you know, versatile knowledge about the different ingredients. So whatever, who cares? I bet you didn't even understand that. Neither did I. I just said that to sound cool. Give me some feedback, man. I've told you before, feedback is important. It's good for you. It's like go to the doctor, tell him what your problem is. Otherwise, how could he help you? So I'm your doctor. Yeah, take off your clothes. I'm your doctor. Yeah, you get the point. Give me some feedback. Feedback is good. Feedback is noisy, but it's good. So yeah, give me some feedback. Goodbye.